Hi everybody, it's Mark Hanna again, Grecian Formula, coming to you with turn 4 of the campaign in Russia. This will be August 1812 in this series that I'm putting on BGG. So in this particular episode, I've tried something different. I've actually done all the machinations on camera, the battle. There wasn't a lot of battles. So there's a lot of movement. You'll actually see me moving counters. And I'd like a little feedback here. I think it takes too long. It's actually double the length of the other videos. So it's maybe not worth doing it that way again. But that's how this one's done. So I hope you enjoy it. You're going to see Napoleon advancing towards Borodino, where the Russians are collecting in that region. A bit of a raid from the Russians in the south, setting up the stage for an exciting September. The biggest thing that happens in this episode really is the attrition. It was horrid for both sides. All right, thanks. Enjoy the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hello, everyone. Here we are. I'm going to try not to breathe into the microphone like I've been doing or lean on that table like I've been doing. Try to upgrade our experience here for you, viewers, and thank you for viewing. So here we are. This is the August turn, 1812. Napoleon's grouped most of his army here, although he's off on a side mission here where he was very successful in clearing out the corridor to St. Petersburg, if that's the direction he wants to go. But in reality, we need to get these guys up here and start taking out some Russians so that they're not around in November and December to harass us. He's already got a harassing force down here. He being the Russians, being me, of course, but we are pretending that we're solely interested in the French and their allies. Speaking of their allies, Schwarzenberg. Supply chain had been cut off by a Cossack attack down here. Said Cossack actually had to withdraw after his attack. Their hit and run, they actually can't go in and occupy because by themselves because they have a morale of 0. Another error I made last time. Once again, major cities, you are not allowed to entrench. So, there's no entrenching marker allowed there. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to roll the attrition table. I'm going to try to do this all in one big video this time. So, all the action will be here in a sequence of disjointed videos. In fact, I forgot there's a pause button on this camera, so we're going to make use of it. Still jiggling the table. I don't know why. I'm trying to stay away from it. Okay, let me pause it and get the attrition thing going for the French. And there's the infamous die roll tower. Rolling the die. French are, as usual, hoping for a low roll because these attritions in Russia get modified. They do get a -1 for being French colored, but it's a +1 for being in Russia. So that can mean also for being out of supply, so I need to check supply. So it can be quite mean if things go badly, but at least it's not winter yet. So let's roll on the attrition table and see what happens to the French. Oh, and it's the worst case scenario that we all feared, a 6. So that means basically every stack that the French have over 3 steps, if you look at this, you can see even 3 steps at a 6 takes a hit. 6 to 10 steps will take 2 hits, one of which must be cavalry. You begin to wonder sometimes if it's better to mass them and take the loss. If you have 2 stacks of 10, they're going to lose 4. One big stack of 15 only loses 3 if you roll a 6. So, but if you spread them out, there's a better chance you'll take no losses at all. So I guess that's the strategy I've been using up to this point. And perhaps it's not the best, especially in Russia. Okay, I'm going to pause this and take the step losses off and show you what died. I don't know if they die, but at least they go back home or whatever they do. Okay, folks, and here you have it. You can see these losses here are devastating from this attrition roll. It's just outrageous, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 satellite units, including 3 cavalry satellite units. It's just brutal. Not so sure I've ever liked this attrition table. I don't really like rolling on every stack. Every stack is the same die roll. Okay. Star required cavalry loss. So that's 1, 2, 3, as I said, 7 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a total of 12 steps. It's hard to lose that in a single attack. All right, let's do some French movement now. All right, so we're on to movement. We're going to try to do some planning here and actually do the movement for a change in front of you, the audience. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. All right, so we've got Murat. He's a cavalry guy. He lost one of his cavalry. Napoleon's here. So I think we're going to bypass St. Petersburg. We're not going to go north. We're going to head the traditional way to try to grab the Russians and kill them in combat. That will prevent them from counterattacking. That's the idea. Okay, but we're not going to be able to get up there the whole time. And I'm thinking, look at this attrition chart. Plus all the stacks of the Russians. I think we're going to have to go for some big stacks here and get them right in their face. So let's start with Bezier's. He's going to try to go 1, 2, 3, and force march for 4 to there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was brilliant, wasn't it? So he's there with his 8 points. It's not Bezier's. Why do I keep calling him that? It's Davout. So Davout is there. And he went 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's already acted like he's forced march. Well, confidence reigns supreme. Let's see if they do. I'm not going to roll this on the table. Anything but a 6. And he rolls a 3, so he does make it. All right. This is... So I can have 1, 2, 3. That's... I'm going to put a 15 stacker there. So that's 7. Murat will bring these up. Is that Murat? That's Poniatowski. All right, so he brings those up for 3. Actually, that wouldn't have worked if I'd rolled a 5 or 6. There was a minor ally there. Okay. Poniatowski brings him up. Then he's going to move back someplace. So for now, I'll just move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to here. Okay. And that's good. Napoleon needs to get in on this action. So Napoleon, he won't bring the cavalry. He's only got 2 infantry points. So he brings him 1, 2, 3, force march, 1 step ahead. -1 for French, +1 for Russia. He makes it. And now the cavalry can make it automatically. And now we have Murat with his 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are minor one of them's minor allied cavalry. So they'll try it anything but a 5 or a 6. 6, no way, nobody would have made it. So he's stuck there. Jerome, this is a big stack here. I'll bring him up with a Murat. This leader 0 is going to go someplace else. All right. Poniatowski has moved 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8 to there. Let's just mark him that he has moved, but he still has 2 movement points. We might want to move him someplace else. I suppose that when we play this game, you're supposed to do that immediately. I suppose it would make sense then. I'll just do that, and he will commit to going there. All right. That leader 0 won't move. Marat will move these guys. I keep saying it's Marat. Every leader's named Marat. This is Eugene. Eugene Chaffat, as Captain Picard said. 1, 2, 3. And, he better try to march to, I've got French there. I'd like to force march him 2 hexes to get up to Napoleon. Napoleon's hex. Let's try that. Force marching 2. And he will need, it's a +1, -1 because they're in Russia. Guess what does this mean? The Russian land is rougher or something? Why is there a +1 for this force marching? I don't know. Harder to live off the land, I suppose. Okay. Here they go. And a 5 will fail. They go nowhere. So that's a little bit alarming. All right, so now these guys, these are all cavalry. 1, 2, 3. They can get to Napoleon, so we'll do that. Napoleon will have all of the cavalry now. And that just leaves these characters here. Ney's group. There's another leader 0. We'll leave him behind, as they may need to transport troops up. And so, yeah, technically we need to make sure there's a supply line. So this guard cav would go here, so that when they're doing their marching, they have a supply line. Okay, that would go through here to here. French units there and 1 there, so that would do it. So the guards are there under leader 0. And it may make sense to actually then man that guard cavalry with him. Okay. Now it's starting to make sense. Let's continue the moves. Ney is going to try to force march into Vitebsk. Does he even have to force march? And actually, he's going to send 1 cav. We got a leader 0 there. So he'll send this Württemberger down here to take the town. We need to occupy these towns as we go by. So where was Ney? Yeah, he's trying. Cavalry can automatically make it, so he'll go there. This guy will be here, and he's trying to force march 1. Those are French regulars. Is that what they want to do? Yeah, first the cavalry will try to force march 1 to Devoot. Makes it. This is guard cavalry. No, this is not the guard cavalry. That's Saxon cavalry. They still needed more than the 5 or 6. So there's Ney. He's 3 to there. Probably make more sense to go 3 to there. Yeah, we don't want the Russians to come back and get Vitebsk. 3 to there, and then force march from that hex. If he fails, he's at least with a group. He makes it. So Ney is in here. And there's the French army Armée. All right, we got these guards, and they're way back here. We need to get them up. So let's do that. Oh, those are supposed to be 4, actually. I lost one of them on the attrition. 1, 2, 3, and then they'll try to force march 2. The guard force marching is -2 + 1. They get a -1, so they have a pretty good chance of success. And they do succeed with a 1. So the French guard is now more or less in range of Napoleon. Well done. So they have a nice bunched group there. Don't like how Murat's sort of sticking out like a sore thumb, but there you go. I think it'll be okay. Maybe not. He might be vulnerable there on the flanks. We'll see. Okay, now these guys, 2 strength points. Try to get up to the front. And they're going to have to leave one guy behind there. 2, 3 to there. And then they'll go back 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there. And now Murat. Everybody's Murat. This is not Murat. It's Victor. So Victor, get a move on, Victor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you need to hoof it. Are there any minor allies in there? There are. They'll just try to force march 1. 1, 2, 3. And force marching 1. And they are able to get to there. Okay. Let's come around on the other side of the camera, tripod thingy. And we've got these guys to make it someplace. And they are all minor allies too, so they'll actually have a better chance of force marching 1 if they do it now. There is a really weird little rule that you get to do it at any time, so boys, you're starting the force march now. Alright, so they're going to try to march 4. Not next. Force march, just force march. Okay, they rolled a 3. So they are able to, and they go 1, 2, 3, 4. A little strung out, aren't they? That's tempting if, too bad those Russians aren't really in range of anything like that. Okay, we've got to deal with this Lublin crisis. So he'll come over from here. 3. Not really sure. I want to leave that city open. I certainly don't want him to take Krakow either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to force march 2 and a supply. I think I can cope with that better than losing Warsaw, so we'll stay there in Warsaw. Even though he could attack across the bridge and take out Warsaw anyway. No, that's not acceptable either. So we're just going to go 1, 2 to block him off. That way he can at least get to Warsaw. Meanwhile, trying to get these characters over here. 1, 2, 3. These are off map. Minor allies, force marching 1. They have not been able to do that the whole game. So that's that. Okay, that's the French move. There is no combat. They did take a city, so I'll remove that from the controlled cities of the Russians, and we'll go from there. So Smolensk is still Russian. Okay, Russian turn next. Okay, so looking at the Russian situation here is where they'll make a stand by entrenching here and moving everybody towards and or behind that to reinforce. So hanging out in the forest, maybe on this side over here, or even behind that. One of the things you want to do is prevent Napoleon getting that extra +1, but I think that's really difficult. Let's just see what happens for their attrition. Now, the Russians, of course, suffer from similar attrition penalties, but they are in their home country. So that will negate that. And what do they roll? I guess it's going to count, because you saw it. No, it has to go in the box. That's the rule I introduced last time. And I don't know why I aim so poorly. These are my least favorite dice towers I've ever had, but that's what you get when you buy foam dice towers for $5. All right, so they rolled a 5. Okay, now 5 for the Russians. If they have any stacks, yeah, 6 to 10 is that 2 again. So yeah, just about as bad for them as it was for the French. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, the Russians on the attrition, you can see their losses here were 6 steps. Half of the French losses, but on the other hand, these are more needed near the front because most of the losses were out of here. There was 1 loss from his stack, so he's not very strong to take on Schwarzenberg at the moment. So that attack will have to wait until I get more reinforcements from Kiev. So I will be getting some reinforcements there. Some stuff's coming on the map this turn, plus the usual 2 here. 1 in Kiev, so the 2 infantry, 1 infantry, and then also a Cossack replacement up here. Let me take care of that. All right, so somewhere from the vast steppes of Russia, they received a leader 0, 5i, and 2 cavalry in Kiev to start the turn there. And so I think what I might try to do is do a surprise attack on this guy, just to be an annoyance and sit in Minsk and force the marshals to do something about that. That might take some pressure off of the Moscow force, which is going to fall back and entrench right here. So let's see what happens with these moves. I think the first thing to do is evaluate if Bagration can make it. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I don't need him for that. He'll be doing much better job of getting pressure to the end of the supply line by staying there. So I'll keep Bagration there, and so that means this guy, Tormazov will be doing the honors. He'll be trying to force march up there. Let's try to do that immediately. Tormazov will take the whole reinforcement force. 1, 2, 3. Now he's going to have to try to force march 1. So just double checking the force march table. Okay, so they are not unsupplied. They are in Russia. Okay, so 5 or 6, they will not make it, and this whole thing will be a flop. They do make it with a 2. So they're there. Okay, they need to keep 1 guy in here to keep the entrenchment. I keep saying there's no entrenchment there. You fool. Okay, so this guy will go 1, 2, 3 to bring up more reinforcements. There's no attrition if it's less than 3, so we'll do that. Let's mark this battle here. Okay, that's not going to be an overrun because I didn't try to do that. I could have, maybe should have, but I didn't. All right, so well, he can also go into the entrenchments, or their fortifications, which he might do. Is that a cavalry unit? No, it's just some Rhinelanders. They really don't stand a chance of doing anything. All right. We're going to entrench this force here, and that's where everybody's going to pull back to. I want to put 15 points in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Already there. This is leader 0 will move back to here. Okay. Wittgenstein will zip up 1, 3, and try to force march into Novgorod. He makes it. The Russians are being quite slick today. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Bagration will go. Bagration is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 9. This guy will go. This guy here will stand behind them and guard the supply line. This guy here will join them if they don't overstack. Just put bagration here because it's going to get out of control. There's 9 there, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That'll be fine. 14 with bagration and the entrenchment hex, along with this leader as well. Okay, ready for the Battle of Borodino coming up. Okay, semi-Borodino, mini Borodino. All right, now that leaves these guys here. And they'll go 1, 2, 3, and try to force march 1 to get into position, somewhat into position. Yeah, force marches are going very smoothly for the Russians. There they are. So there's the fateful place where the battle will occur. All right, now we have to resolve this battle here. What we'll do, just to demonstrate how this works, they'll retreat. They'll decide to be in the fortress, so it's going to be a fortress battle. Okay, and that'll force them. Oh, all right, what am I doing? Yes, I'll have to leave a supply guy back here. So let's do that. I'm gonna have to make some change here. Got supply guy, and then this becomes a 4-bagger. 2, 4, 6. Okay. All right, can't forget the supplies, boys. It's easy to forget in this, even though it's so easy to do. The supply rules aren't that difficult to manage. Okay. Now we're ready for this combat. So they're going to go into the city. So we need a besiegement fort marker. But that's not going to last very long because we're going to assault it. And he'll be doubled. So now there's one big battle hex. 5 to 2, so 2 to 1. The morale is, there's no tactical matrix here. Morale 1, and they're going to be morale 3, plus the leader is 4. So it's going to be a +3. So 2 to 1 plus 3. I can't remember if you actually have to take these as results. I mean, obviously, you would like to get the 0-1 result. But here's the roll. And it's an 8, and it's impossible anyway with that roll. So each side will lose 1 step. The leader 0, I guess he goes back to Dresden or something because they aren't captured. And they will lose a step. 2, but they take the city back, and now they're in supply there. So that's all good. Tormazov needs to roll on the destruction table to get wounded. He did not. He rolled 4, so he is safe. Okay. And that will do it for the Russian August turn. So we'll be getting into September. When was the official Battle of Borodino anyway? It doesn't say on here, does it? Okay, we'll have to look that up. I think we're a month ahead of schedule for fighting there. So we'll see. Certainly Napoleon can get a decent force up there. But now he's got a thorn in his side that one of his marshals will have to deal with. And I don't know if he can make it to help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He might be able to. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. No, he won't be able to help the battle unless it's coming from this hex. It might be worth getting Devout down there to help secure that flank. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if Devout... He does not have anybody to help him. He can move 12 steps of infantry on his own, though. So, right. All right, that's it. Let's book this as complete. We'll send it on up.